Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please find your seat, we'll begin in just a moment. Please rise for the academic processional.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Good afternoon. I am David Weber. As we say the pledge, we remember the 55 delegates who attended the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia at Independence Hall and the monumentous work they undertook in crafting the government of this great nation, the Constitution of the United States of America. The Constitutional Convention convened on May 25th, 1787, 231 years ago, was chaired by George Washington, led by James Madison, the delegates who would go on to create the government based on 5 systems: separation of powers, checks and balances, republicanism, federalism, and limited powers. The government created on paper during the summer of 1787 has survived for 299 years, with 27 amendments, and serves as the beacon of democracy throughout the world. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please remain standing for our national anthem.
Thank you, David, and you may be seated. Good afternoon, students, parents, families, friends, and distinguished guests. I am Martin Conradi, your principal of Genesis High School. Welcome to our spring commencement exercises and the formal recognition of the milestone these graduates have achieved. We are most proud. Buenas tardes, alumnos, padres, familias, amigos y distinguidos invitados. Soy Martin Conradi, el director de Genesis High School. Bienvenidos a la recepción de primavera y el reconocimiento formal del logro que estos graduados han alcanzado. Nos sentimos muy orgullosos. Please help me in recognizing our distinguished guests. Our school board members. President of the school board, Mr. Ashley Muchnick. Mrs. Molly McClure, school board vice president. Dr. Matthew Mix, secretary. Mr. James Allen. Mr. Chris Dillon. Mr. Billy Moore. And Mrs. Kelly Seacatz. Our superintendent of schools, Mr. Barry Edwards. Ms. Lila Olivares, our associate superintendent of academics. Mrs. Sandra Callahan, our Chief Financial Officer. Ms. Panay Leifer, Executive Director of Human Resources. Dr. Christy Lee, Executive Director of Communications and Community Services. Mr. Jeff Yarborough, Chief of Police and Operations. Dr. Jason Hewitt is in the audience. He is our Chief Academic Officer for Secondary Schools. Les Hudson, Director of Student Services. Mr. Andy Sexton, Director of Athletics and Administrative Services. Heather Christie, Director of Accountability. And we also have with us Ms. Bridget Cornelius, Principal of Cedar Creek High School. Mr. Brad Brown, Principal of Bastrop High School. And Mr. Edgar Torres, the Associate Principal at Cedar Creek High School. Graduates of Genesis High School are bound by the requirements set forth by the Texas Education Agency and the State Board of Education. Our graduates enter the workforce and military, and many pursue post-secondary educational opportunities. I applaud each of our graduates for demonstrating the will to succeed. This year was a record year for Genesis High School. To date, the Genesis High School class of 2018 numbers 131 graduates, 34 from our January graduation, and these 97 students. Our students today have the distinction of graduating in the largest Genesis class ever. At this time, special recognition is in order for several of our students. Genesis High School has begun to systematically administer the TSI assessment. The Texas Success Initiative, or TSI, is the test students must take and pass in order to enroll in college-level courses at community and junior colleges throughout the state of Texas. Students, as I call your name, please stand and remain standing so that we may acknowledge your accomplishment. College ready in writing, Ernesto Calderon. Sheila Hernandez Pedraza. Sheila. Erica Martinez Garcia. Tristan Stedman. College ready in reading and writing. And students, I'd prefer if you stay standing. College ready in reading and writing, Jonathan Barron. Eric Michael Blaylock. Thomas Cole. Courtney Gressett. Dustin Martin. David Martinez. Savannah Salazar. Sierra Salazar. And students, again, stay standing. As we speak about college readiness, we have 7 students this year at Genesis who passed all 3 TSI exams and are college ready in reading, writing, and mathematics. They are Haley Davey, Jadlyn Davis, Kane Duncan, Caitlin Gressett, Seneca Hendricks, Alicia Shirey, and David Weber. Join me in applauding their accomplishment. Thank you, students. You may be seated. Genesis High School students have the opportunity to graduate on the Foundation High School program with endorsements. Students, as I call your name, please stand to be recognized. Haley Davey is graduating on the Foundation High School program with an endorsement in multidisciplinary studies. Seneca Hendricks, Corbin Kawazoe, and Alicia Shirey are graduating on the Foundation High School program with an endorsement in STEM, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. Jadlyn Davis is graduating on the Foundation High School program with endorsements in Arts and Humanities and Multidisciplinary Studies. Ernesto Calderon, Sierra Salazar, and David Weber are graduating on the Foundation High School program with endorsements in STEM as well as multidisciplinary studies. Students, you may be seated. Thank you. At this time, I would ask that Marco Carbajal Jaimez and Isaiah Hernandez please stand. After the commencement exercises today, Marco will be enlisted in the United States Army and Isaiah in the United States Marine Corps. Congratulations, gentlemen, and thank you for your service. You may be seated. Mr. Edwards, Mr. Muchnick, and members of the board, as principal of Genesis High School, I certify these students receiving their diplomas today have fulfilled all of the requirements set by the Texas Education Agency and the Bastrop Independent School District for graduation from high school. At this time, Mr. Edwards and the Board of Trustees will present each student their Genesis High School diploma.
Giovanni Aguilar Sosa. Henry Aguilera Vega. Olivia Amador. Isaac Amaro. Antonio Areola. Valentin Arroyo. Brian Aviles Jaimes. Kimani Baldwin. Destiny Barber. Jonathan Barron. Horacio Bautista Osorio. Eric Michael Blaylock. Alma Bueno Mondragon. Jalen Burris. Ernesto Calderon. Megan Calvillo. Manuel Campos. Marco Carbajal Jaimes. Israel Carrasco Villarreal. Erica Castellan Nieto. Marisol Cisneros. Lavelle Clark. Thomas Cole. Jose Cordero Padron. Angel Cortez Alias. Haley Davy. Jadelyn Davis. Myla De La Cruz. Misty Disman. Samantha Dominguez. It is time. Jose Don Juan Martinez. Kane Duncan. Riley Easty. Zeke Evers. Jonathan Flores. Sebastian Flores. Alyssa Gonzalez. Lizbeth Gonzalez Benitez. Pablo Gonzalez Govea. Seneca Hendricks. Isaiah Hernandez. Jeremiah Hernandez. Angel Hernandez Guyona. Sheila Hernandez Pedrosa. Abel Herrera. Griselda Jimenez Colunga. Destiny Juarez. Corbin Kawazoe. Victoria Kirby. Jamie Kaiser. You're welcome. Kelman Lowe. Robert Madrid. Rodolfo Manzano. Dustin Martin. David Martinez. Erica Martinez Garcia. Damani Matthews. Karina Medrano Hernandez. Valeria Medrano Signs. Jessica Muir Meyer. I'm going to let him catch up. Whoops. Maria Mendez. Sacrobi Mondragon Sanchez. Jorge Monroy Galvan. Tanya Navarrete. Claudia Notario Frank.
Can I give a speech? That's your real name?
Junior Ocampo.
Can you say my name slow?
Joseph Perez. Adolfo Rodriguez. Marisol Rodriguez Martinez. Sierra Salazar. Savannah Salazar. Jair Saldana. Jimena Santana Cruz. Alicia Shirey. William Simmons. Tristan Stedman. Jerry Story. Victor Toribio Espanol. Brittany Torres. Ashley Valdez. Emmanuel Vallejo Vargas. Bibiana Vasquez Reyes. Caitlin Walwack. David Weber. River Yarbrough. Evelyn Ibarra. Manuel Zavala.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you could tell, we're just as excited as you are to get our Genesis graduates across the stage. But we're honored to be here with you all this afternoon and celebrate the lives and accomplishments of these wonderful students. We want to be sure that we pay tribute to the sacrifices you as families have made with them and have made to get them here. Never, ever have any of us done anything all on our own. We either used our families, our friends that came across the district to support their fellow friends and classmates. We have teachers, we have mentors, and we have one another. Thank you all for the contribution you have made for these wonderful Genesis students. Please give yourselves a round of applause. And now, what we've all been waiting for, on behalf of the administration, the faculty, and staff of the Bastrop Independent School District, I am pleased to recognize the class of 2018, Genesis High School. You may now move your tassel to the left. Congratulations.
131 of them this year. Congratulations, graduates. Graduates, you were born into a society on the move, a world in transition. Do you remember? George W. Bush was President-elect of the United States. Microsoft released Windows 2000. Sony, PlayStation 2. A destructive computer virus called I Love You, spread by emails, shut down computers worldwide. And the internet had roughly 360 million users. You had your first television experience with Dora the Explorer. 51 million viewers turned into the first season finale of Survivor. Gladiator ruled the box office. Destiny's Child and NSYNC dominated the top 40. And J.K. Rowling published Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Scientists released a rough draft of the human genome to the public for the first time. The world lost DJ Screw, Derek Thomas, Tom Landry, Walter Matthau, and Charles Schultz. A gallon of gas cost $1.30, and a ticket to the movie theater was $5. Times have changed. The United States dominated the Summer Olympics in Sydney. The Los Angeles Lakers were world champions. The New York Yankees won the World Series. And this is always confusing for me, the St. Louis Rams the Super Bowl. And then there you were, one of 6 billion human beings. 17, 18, and 19 years later, you sit on the brink of the rest of your life. You are graduating from high school. For the first time in the last 15 years, no one, not your parents or the state of Texas, can tell you what to do or where to be. You are free. With that said, what wisdom could I possibly bestow on you at this point? I'm going to try. I'll turn to the business world for inspiration. In his speech to the graduating class 2005 at Stanford University, Steve Jobs, and you know who he was the founder of Apple Computers, he observed, "Death is very likely the single best invention of life. It's life's change agent. It clears out the old to make way for the new. Right now, the new is you. But someday, not too long from now, you will gradually become the old and be cleared away." Sorry to be so dramatic, but it's quite true. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. It's your life, not your mom's or your grandpa's or your teacher's. It's yours. What will you do with it in the time that you have? Ultimately, each of you will seek to establish a career for yourself and your family. Some of you will gravitate towards further schooling in trade schools, colleges, and universities. The pathway to a career may point some of you to the military or directly into the workforce. As you make these most important decisions in your future, I want you to remember the words of Steve Plank. He's a very successful businessman, associate professor at Stanford University, and lecturer at the University of California in Berkeley. He is very fond of reminding people that people talk about getting lucky breaks in their careers. I'm living proof that the lucky breaks theory is simply wrong. You get to make your own luck. The world is run by those who show up, not by those who wait to be asked. So, graduates, show up and make yourself what you are intended to be. And when the showing up gets difficult, last year, Theo Epstein, the president of the Chicago Cubs baseball team, told the graduates of Yale University, "There will be times where everything you have been wanting, everything that you have worked for, everything that you have earned, everything you feel you deserve is snatched away from you in what seems like a personal and unfair blow." Epstein says, that's called life. Epstein went on to address the students and said, when things go really, really wrong, and then when it rains on top of everything else, I ask you to choose to keep your heads up and to come together. We opened the ceremony this afternoon by asking everyone to remember the 55 men who came together in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. 231 years ago, that all-American team came together through compromises and consensus and did ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Graduates, by coming together and working together, there is nothing that you cannot accomplish. I cannot think of any better advice as you walk across this threshold today. Graduates, as you endeavor to show up in life and create your future, please remember those teachers who have made a difference in your life. Thank you, Mrs. De Leon, Mrs. Beaumont, Ms. Sturka, Coach Tucker, Mr. Whale, Miss Nations, Miss Wyman, and Mrs. Rofel. And of course, we need to thank Mrs. Odom and Mrs. Enriquez. We would also like to thank the staff at the PAC for helping make today's ceremony memorable. Mr. Edwards, Board of Trustees, thank you for your participation today. Congratulations, Genesis Class of 2018. And we will now have the recessional. Pomp and circumstance, please.